Let's walk through what a catalog search looks like. If you search catalogs from here, or you click on the big catalogs button here, you get dropped into the general catalog query engine, which accesses many different catalogs held here at IRSA. For our example, we're going to choose Wise. Now, we're dropped into another screen from which we can go through and choose which delivery we want to query. For this example, let's just use the All Wise source catalog. Select. From here, we can put in a single target or a list of targets, or do a query over the whole sky. Let's just put in a single target. I'm going to put in IC 1396. Let's go for a relatively large search area. Let's go for a degree. You can change the search area from a cone to a box or a polygon, but let's leave it as cone. We definitely want table output. We can go through this and select the columns that we specifically want, but for this, let's just run query. Okay, it's come back with more than 67,000 sources. It's overlaid the catalog and a HIPS image here. A HIPS image, this one is made from 2MASS data, covers the whole sky, so for such a big search like we did, that's the right image for it to have picked. It's made a simple plot here for it too, just right ascension and declination. And then the whole catalog is down here. Now, one thing to note is that because we have so many sources here, it's actually binned them up, so it's not plotting every single one of the 67,000 points in this plot. In the plot, the darker points represent more objects, more rows in the catalog than the lighter points. On the left, it too is representing the catalog in bins. Each one of these tiles contains the number of sources. So this tile has 675 sources. This tile has 1,115 sources. If we zoom in, the tiles get smaller till it shows you the individual sources in the catalog. Let's go down further on the page. Here it's got the whole catalog, all 67,000 sources. We can filter the catalog by clicking on the filters icon. We get boxes at the top of each column that will enable us to filter down what's shown. I know these Wise catalogs very well, so I know what each of these columns mean. In order to learn more about what each column means, you may need to dive into the documentation that goes with the catalog you're using. But for this example, I'm going to filter this down so that I only get the ones with Wise 1 signal-to-noise ratio greater than 10, Wise 2 signal-to-noise ratio greater than 10, Wise 3 signal-to-noise ratio greater than 10, and Wise 4 signal-to-noise ratio greater than 10. Now you can see that it's greatly reduced the number of points in the catalog, in the plot, and on the image. Let's change what's plotted. If we go to the plot and click on the gears, it brings up a pop-up from which we can change what's being plotted. If I didn't know what all of the columns were, I could click on the magnifying glass and it would bring up a pop-up that shows all of the columns that are in the catalog. But I do know this catalog. So for the x-axis, let's do W1M Pro minus W4M Pro. That's Wise 1 profile fitted magnitude minus Wise 4 profile fitted magnitude. For the y-axis, I want W1M Pro. And because I'm making a color magnitude diagram, I want to make sure that the bright objects are at the top, so I want to reverse the y-axis. We can also put in a chart title or labels if we want, but for now I'm just going to go apply and close. We can change other things in this plot. We can change the kind of symbol or the color of the symbols that are being used. We can map the color of the symbols to other values in the catalog or manipulations of the catalog. We can change the size of the symbols and map it to other items from the catalog or manipulations from the catalog. We can plot errors either from the catalog or calculated from items in the catalog. There's lots of flexibility. You can also, in the table here, calculate additional columns. You can add a column that says, for example, if we put in high SNR flag and then use the preset function that says set filtered rows to true and the rest to false, add a column. Now I have a new column here that is true when all of those signal to noise flags are set. And then when I cancel the filters, then this column is true only when that previously set filter was met. In order to save this table, I can save the table as displayed, or as originally retrieved. That works with the filters too. So then if I filtered this down so that I only have the high signal to noise sources, then I go to save it, I can save only the table as displayed. That way I only have the high signal to noise sources. Note that I can also save it in a variety of formats. The IPAC table file is just plain text, but I can also save it as a CSV file, a TSV file, various VO table formats, or even a Parquet file or a regions file if I'm planning to overlay this in DS9. I can either save it to my local disk or I can save it to the IRSA workspace. If you save the file to your local disk, it will save the file wherever your browser is configured to save the files. There's also online help, which will tell you more information about the tool.